Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CM Trading. Today is September 14th, 2022, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of today, the U.S. markets once again take a nosedive, this time because of a CPI result. Now looking at the major economic events of today, at 2:30 South African time out of the United States, also we have a PPI number. That's a Producer's Price Index. It's also an inflation report, so it's an important number that's coming out today. So looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, we saw the major pairs tank versus the US dollar. In terms of the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both take a nosedive. Looking at commodities, gold sells off while oil slightly lower. And looking at the stocks, Facebook finally breaks that range below that 165-ish range, and that's an important thing. Now, lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin did sell off together with the rest of the market. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're starting with the Euro USD, and look at that on a daily chart. Oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. We were at 101.96, and now we're at 99.81. I mean, that hurts so much. Within a day of trading, we've given up over almost 150 pips, a little bit more than that. So that's a massive decline there. Excuse me, a little bit more than that. Almost 200 pips. So this is really just signs of the times, okay? If the U.S. markets are going to go down, the dollar is going to go up, and it's going to affect all the other Forex symbols as well. So this is when you know the markets are really selling off together. Now looking at the Australian dollar, also took a nosedive and closing on its lows. And looking at the GBP USD, also took a nosedive but didn't make new lows. So it could be that the Australian dollar is making a new low, and that is now shifting and becoming our new softy. Okay, that could really be taking place as well. Now looking at the USD Japanese Yen, also rallied all the way up back to its lows. The dollar rallying versus the Japanese yen, and now you can see itself pretty much at this 143. So that's an important thing as well. Now looking at commodities, first looking at gold, you see that massive, we always said this, right? 1729 is your resistance, and sure enough, once it hit that, you know, irrelevant what's happening in the markets, you always got to stick to the technicals, and sure enough, that's where we're at. Now we're at the bottom of the range. The question is, as we're going to stay in this range, or are we going to make some shifts on the upside? Crude oil just slightly lower at 85.98, just at $86 shy. Now looking at the U.S. market, starting out with the Dow Jones, that's a weekly. You can see it on a daily. Look at that nosedive. I mean, that is just so aggressive with increased volume. This may mean that we're going to make new lows because some of the stocks that we're looking at are making new lows already. Now looking at the NASDAQ, also back to its lows at 12,166, just bouncing here slightly this morning. Now looking at the stocks, this is where it makes the big difference. Okay, look at this. Facebook trading at 153. That's its low. And this is really a very important level because we've been in this area before, but never closing at this area. So if we do see some further sell-off, we could see new lows. And, you know, just to give you perspective, that would mean new lows for the year, going back even to 2020 when the pandemic started. You can see that here quite clearly when we were last there, just to highlight it with a pen so you can see it a little bit clearer right there. That's where we were in 2020, and we sold off, remember, in February to March, and then kind of capitulated in April to May, and then we just went orbital since then. So this is a massive correction for Facebook. And looking at a monthly, if we break this area, yeah, we could see ourselves back into this 121-ish level. That's our next support-ish level. So keep that in mind as this is still trading. Looking at Apple, giving up its gains from yesterday and then some. Okay, so there's relative weakness here across the board. Alcoa did sell off as well. Now, Microsoft sold off also to its lows. So if it's making new lows this morning, that's something to be considerate about. Intel breaking $30 a share. That's really very bad because if Intel broke 30, that means it could go to $20 a share. You could hear it in my voice. I'm a little bit pessimistic about it because, you know, this is a bellwether. This is something that everybody looks to as to the direction of the markets. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we did retrace yesterday. You see that nosedive together with the rest of the market. But we're above 20 bucks. So this is a supportish level for Bitcoin. So let's see if it can hold the fort, at least this area for now. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.